Learning objectives. When you complete this chapter, you should be able to identify and explain 7 major factors that affect location decisions. Compute labor productivity. Apply the factor rating method. Complete a locational break-even analysis graphically and mathematically. Lastly, use the center of gravity method. Location strategy. One of the most important decision a firm makes. Because if we're going to know what location or what kind of location we're going to put our business, of course, we're going to estimate or what kind of service that we can give to our customers. Second, increasingly global in nature. Third, significant impact on fixed and variable costs. Decisions made relatively infrequently. Last, the objective is to maximize the benefit of location to the firm. Location and costs. Location decision based on low cost require careful consideration. Once in place, location related costs are fixed in place and difficult to reduce. Determining optimal facility location is a good investment. Of course, we should know or we should have some idea about what location we're going to invest.
Location and innovation are also the most important aspect of a strategic decision. Here are the four key attributes when strategy is based on innovation. First is the high quality and specialized inputs. Second, an environment that encourages investment and local rivalry. Third is a sophisticated local market. And lastly, the local presence of related and supporting industries.
Location decisions is a long-term decisions that are made infrequently, decisions that are greatly affect both fixed and variable costs. Once committed to a location, many resource and cost issues are difficult to change.
In choosing locations, there are a lot of considerations to avoid conflicts. In country decision, here are the critical success factors. First is the political risks, government rules, attitudes, and incentives. Second is the cultural and economic issues. You should consider if the business is applicable in its economic status. Third is the location of market. Of course, you should consider the location of your business. Fourth is the availability of supplies, communications, energy, labor talent, attitudes, productivity, costs, and lastly, exchange rates and currency risks. For regional decisions, here are the critical success factors to be considered. First is the corporate desires. Second, attractiveness of region. Third, labor availability, costs, and attitude towards unions. Fourth is the cost and availability of utilities, environmental regulations, government incentives and fiscal policies, proximity to raw materials and customers, and lastly, the land and construction costs.
In considering the critical success of site decisions, there are factors that needs to be considered. One is the site size and the cost of it. It is a must to consider this factor in order for the business to know how much it will cost if they put the business there. Two is the air, rail, highway, and waterway system. This thing must be considered to know if the business you're going to put up will have an easy access to run in that certain place. 3 is the zoning restrictions. It is for the safety of the employee and the nearby houses or business. Fourth is the proximity of services or the supplies needed. This is to be able to know if how much time it would take to deliver the products around the area or how much time it would take to produce a certain number of products needed. Fifth is the environmental impact issues. This is to know if the business can generate in a certain country because we all know that there are fortuitous events that may happen and it can affect the production of the business.
Factors that affect location decisions. One of the factors the labor productivity. What is labor productivity? Labor productivity is a measure of economic growth within a country. Labor productivity measures the amount of goods and service produced by 1 hour of labor. Specifically, labor productivity measures the amount of real gross domestic product or GDP produced by an hour of labor. Growth in labor productivity depends on three main factors: investment and savings, in physical capital, new technology, and human capital. Factors that affect location decision: exchange rates and currency risk. It has a significant impact on cost structure, and the rates can change over time to time while that location is in the effect of the decision. Next, the cost. There are two parts, the tangible and the intangible cost. Here are examples of intangible costs or qualitative factors. First, education, quality, labor skills. Next, the tangible or quantitative factors, short-run and long-run costs. Factor rating method are probably one of the most widely used location selection techniques because they can combine very diverse issues into an easy to understand format. At the same time, it is important to recognize the fact that although the end of the result from this type of analysis is a quantitative number, factor rating methods are used to evaluate both qualitative and quantitative factors. Another reason that the factor rating method approach is so popular is that it's relatively simple to use and requiring only 6 steps. It's to develop a list of relevant factors or called critical success factors, followed by assign a weight, develop a scale, score each location, multiply by score by weight for each factor, and lastly recommend the location with the highest point of score.
Locational break-even analysis. It is a method of cost-volume analysis used for industrial locations like buildings. There are three steps in the method. First, determine fixed and variable cost for each location. Second, plot the cost for each location. And lastly, select the location with the lowest total cost for expected production volume. The transportation model. It finds amount to be shipped from several points of supplies to the several points of demand. Solution will minimize the total production and shipping costs. And a special class of linear programming problems. It also, transportation model can be defined as either its advantage or disadvantage to a product that can be delivered from one another to another place.
So, service location strategy in locating services. So, number one factor that you need to consider is purchasing power of the customers in the area. So, it depends on who are your customers and their capability to purchase your product and your service. Number two, service and image compatibility with demographics of the customer's drawing area. This is what you want your customer to see your business. This is the image of your business that you want to portray. Number three is the competition in the area. These are your competitors, the quality of competitions, uniqueness of the firms and competitors' location, physical qualities of facilities and neighboring businesses, operating policies of the firm, and lastly, the quality of management. These are all the factors you need to consider in locating services. How hotel chains select site. Location is strategically important decision in a hotel industry. Location has a big impact on the demand your hotel will generate and therefore will influence the price you can ask in a market for the rooms. When starting a new hotel, the site selection process is a key step that should not be taken too lightly. La Quinta started with 35 independent variables and worked to refine a regression model to predict profitability. The final model had only four variables. One is the price of the inn, median income level, state population per inn, location of nearby colleges. Geographic Information System. It is a computer system for capturing, storing, checking, and displaying data related to position on Earth's surface. GIS can show many different kinds of data in one map. These are the detailed census data, detailed map, utilities, geographic features, location of major services. This enables people to more easily see and analyze and understand pattern and relation. It is important tool to help in location analysis, enables more complex geographic analysis.